Back in January, I made my way too early NASCAR playoff predictions. Now that it's June and we're just 8 races away from the playoffs, let's see how I'm doing. Uploaded on January 17th, 2024. And look right there, let's revisit in a few months. That's what we're doing. I'm a man of my word. Let's see if my list has aged well. I'm seeking redemption this year because I must admit, last year was not my best showing.
Nope.
I only got 12 of the 16 drivers correct.
Despicable. Terrible.
Granted, 12 for 16 may sound like a decent score, but I expect better of myself. I'm aiming for a perfect score this time around.
Oh my goodness. I was feeling very ambitious back in January. I guess, it's the new year. Everyone makes resolutions, pledges to be a better person. 2024 has beaten me down quite a bit the last 6 months. I'm not sure I would still be quite this ambitious, and I already know at least one prediction I got wrong. I don't think anyone had Austin Cindric making the playoffs. That win at Gateway blew up a lot of brackets. So perfect score, not tenable this time around, but I'm hoping for at least 14, maybe 15, at least 14 out of 16 correct.
I genuinely think this could be the year. So
It
let's
wasn't.
not waste any more time. Let's dive right in. There are really only 8 drivers that I consider to be virtual playoff locks.
Okay.
I'll give our most recent championship 4 the benefit of the doubt.
Sounds
Ryan
good,
Blaney,
I think. Yep.
Kyle Larson, William Byron,
Perfect.
and Christopher Bell will all qualify for this year's playoffs.
Off to a great start. Ryan Blaney a little slow out the gate, but Ford have come on strong lately, and Larson, Byron, Bell have 3 wins apiece. So, all right, good start. That was the low-hanging fruit.
I'll also show some love to some veteran drivers, some former champions in the mix here.
Uh-oh.
Denny Hamlin, Joey Logano, Kyle Busch, and Martin Truex Jr. will make the playoffs.
And these were supposed to be the locks. Joey Logano is 16th on the playoff grid, only 13 points to the good. And don't get me started on Kyle Busch just this week. RCR's competition director, Andy Petrie, suspicious timing, chooses to retire. Keith Rodden is now filling that role. Good luck. And I had them penciled in. No, not even penciled in. I had them written in permanent marker as playoff locks. What a difference a few months makes. Yeah, now Kyle Busch seems very realistic. He could miss the playoffs this season altogether. Long way to go, but it's not looking great for at least one of our two-time champions. Halfway through this list, and I've already got at least one potentially wrong. Long way to go, but at least one potentially wrong. Not a great start, gosh.
Kyle Busch was unable to maintain the torrid pace he set in the first half of last season, winning 3 races. He had 7 straight top 10s at one point, fell off a bit, became more inconsistent, I should say, the second half of the season. But he too, like Logano, is a 2-time champion. I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt.
Oh, the writing was on the wall, January. Eric even pointed out that he'd been inconsistent the second half of last year. I guess I assumed they'd fire off strong this year, like they fired off strong last year. That just did not happen. But yeah, going back to last summer, the 8 team have sort of been in a rocky rut. 9th to nearly 29th in points is wide open. Does Bubba Wallace make it in this year? He barely snuck in last year, got some help from Chase Elliott. Daniel Suarez drives for Trackhouse, but missed the playoffs last year, has historically Did I put Suarez in my playoffs? I don't think I did. Oh no, that could be a second one I got wrong. We'll find out.
Alex Bowman is coming off injury. Ty Gibbs is entering.
Gosh, did I leave Bowman out too? Because he's probably going to make it. I think he's like 59 points to the good.
Stuart Haas is rebranded. Can they reinvent themselves on the racetrack? What about...
It's crazy to think back in January, I had no idea that Stuart Haas would be shutting down. Dropping a couple charters maybe, but completely shutting down, effectively, I guess Haas factory team will still exist. No idea back in January. Wow, time has flown.
Let's start filling this out though. Both RFK Fords will make the playoffs.
I feel good about that.
The same mistake I made a year ago. Look,
yeah, I think Keselowski's a lock. He won Darlington. Buescher is 15th on the grid plus 50. That bodes well. I don't think we'll get more than one winner outside of the top 15. We might not even get one. So I feel Chris Buescher's pretty safe. Yeah, all right. That's good. Solid. I'll take that.
I believe Chris Buescher and Brad Keselowski will make the playoffs this year. 2023 was not some flash in the pan.
Nope, I don't think so.
6 spots left. Let's put Tyler Reddick in there.
Okay,
Advanced to the round
all right.
8 in his first year with 23-11.
Not bad.
Also nabbed 2 wins, one on a road course at Circuit of the Americas, another at an intermediate, Kansas. He continued 23-11's Kansas dominance.
So Tyler Reddick is a good pick. He got that win at Talladega, been very solid. I think he's 5th in the regular season standings. Reddick's had a great year, no doubt. So I'm glad I had him on this list. I don't think I was doubting Tyler Reddick back in January. I mean, not at all.
Don't worry, I did not forget about the watermelon man, Ross Chastain. Yes, he'll make the playoffs this year. I'm convinced.
All right, we're on the comeback trail now. The only one I'm not feeling great about is Kyle Busch, but of the other 11, I think we're batting pretty good so far. Okay.
I got 4 spots left.
Oh, boy.
If you've watched any of my recent videos, you'll know I'm very high on Legacy Motor Club.
Oh,
I think
no.
Eric Jones makes the playoffs.
Oh,
remember,
jeez.
last year,
Yeah,
Legacy Motor.
remember, yeah, forgot about this. Yeah, Legacy Motor Club has been a huge disappointment so far this year. I expected them to start a little slow, but I figured by now we'd start to see flashes. And I know John Hunter scored a top 10 at New Hampshire last week in the rain, and I think even Eric Jones battled back to finish top 15, but that was an unusual race with unusual circumstances. By and large, both Legacy Motor Club Toyotas have struggled mightily this season. They don't look much, if any, better than they did last year with Chevrolet. I am a little surprised by that, but we have to understand why that's happening. You know, when 2311 came into the sport and joined Toyota, they formed a deep technical alliance with Joe Gibbs Racing, which is why that first year, 2021, they were fairly competitive. Bubba won at Talladega towards the end of the year. They've continued to win races in 2022, 23, 24. Legacy Motor Club joined Toyota, but they did not invest in a technical alliance with Joe Gibbs Racing. They're not getting that kind of data. They're not sharing that kind of information. They are going about this on their own. They are trying to wrap their arms around all this Toyota information themselves. Long term, maybe this is a smart play because you'd like to be a self-sufficient race team. You don't want to be solely dependent on another team for all your information and data. But in the early going, it's going to be a struggle because your notebook is extremely thin. So in hindsight, I was certainly a little too optimistic about Legacy Motor Club. I still think 2 or 3 years from now, they will be a playoff contending team, but this year has been a struggle. And it's interesting to look into why that is, I believe.
Eric Jones proved that even without manufacturer support, he is a force to be reckoned with. He won the Southern 500 in 2022.
Yeah, you know, that's a good point. I'm not going to completely rule out Eric Jones, at least, or John Hunter. Either could win Daytona at the end of the summer, but Eric Jones also has that Darlington race before the playoffs begin this year, and he's a 2-time Southern 500 winner. So there's still time for a legacy car to sneak into the playoffs, but it's going to take a win somewhere at this rate. They're nowhere close on points.
Moving on. Okay. All right. Fine.
Let's get back on track.
Suspense long enough. Yeah. Chase Elliott will make the playoffs
of course, yes.
this year.
Look at me. I had to play the algorithm there, keep you guys in suspense for the first 8.5 minutes of this January video. I don't know what I'm about to say, but yeah, Chase Elliott, even though he didn't win last year, he was very consistent. He had one of the best average finishes in the races he did run, and this year that's continued. He has the best average finish this year, and he squeaked out a win at Texas. So, you know, there was never any doubt. Chase Elliott, full 36 races, I thought was going to make the playoffs. I think hopefully most people thought that.
Only 2 spots remain.
Oh, gosh.
And I haven't even mentioned Bowman, McDowell, Suarez, Stenhouse, Austin Dillon.
Okay, so I don't think I had Daniel Suarez making it. I don't think so. I know I didn't have Austin Cindric making it in. I think I had Ty Gibbs and maybe Alex Bowman, maybe Bubba. I don't think I had Michael McDowell. I'm a McDowell fan, but I didn't see him getting in 2 years in a row.
I got Bubba Wallace making the playoffs for the second straight year.
Oh, man. Okay. All right. Ugh. What was I aiming for? 14 out of 16? So Kyle Busch isn't looking good right now. Eric Jones certainly is not looking good. And Bubba Wallace just got bumped out of the top 16 this last weekend at New Hampshire. So now I'm looking at maybe 13 out of 16 if I'm lucky.
The numbers. Bubba Wallace has been with 2311 for 3 years now. Every year he has gotten progressively
That's true.
better.
The numbers don't lie.
16 seed.
Unfortunately, this year, though, if you look at the numbers, his average finish has plummeted compared to last year. 18.0. It's about 2 positions worse than it was last year. Plummeted maybe was a strong word, but it has gotten worse. That's concerning.
One final spot.
Okay, I think I put either Bowman or Gibbs in here. I think I put Ty Gibbs in here, but let's see.
I could make a case for any of the 4 Stewart-Haas Racing drivers. I really could.
Again, this is so weird, the irony. We had no idea 5 months ago what exactly was going to happen to Stewart-Haas, how this was going to go down. Did anyone see Chase Briscoe to the 19 5 months ago? I'm like looking into a time capsule. It's just so strange. It's eerie almost. But even now, I think I could make a case for almost any Stewart-Haas car. I don't know about Ryan Preece, but Gregson, Berry, Briscoe have all shown flashes this year. I mean, New Hampshire, Berry and Briscoe were 3rd and 2nd. I mean, anything can happen. Shoot.
I'd love to put Daniel Suarez in this spot,
man.
but I just can't.
I did not expect Suarez to win the second race of the season. Did anybody? Be honest.
Alex Bowman is an interesting case because if he's at 100%, he should make the playoffs this year.
Okay.
The problem is, based on his performance the entire second half of last season, I'm not sure we've seen Alex Bowman back at 100%.
Okay, I remember this take now, and I still stand by it. Granted, having 2-3 months off during the winter, I'm sure helped, but Bowman never looked like himself last year. All the way through to the end of the season, he still just looked a little off, was not running well. And even this year, he's been the 4th best Hendrick car. Fortunately, Hendrick is fired off really fast, so Bowman's got a lot of top 10s. He's, I think, plus 59 right now. Likely going to make the playoffs unless they just collapse these next few weeks.
How about Michael McDowell, Ricky Stenhouse?
No.
They both had solid years last season, but wouldn't have made the playoffs.
Stenhouse has been very disappointing this year.
Both are solid super speedway racers, but McDowell won on a road course, and now the Indy road course has been taken off the schedule. There are only 3 road courses in the regular season, I suppose.
Wait, hold on a second. Chicago, is that the only road course left? Yeah, because Watkins Glen and the Roval are both in the playoffs. Wow. Forgot about that. Yeah, that unfortunately does not play to Michael McDowell's strengths.
How about Spire Motorsports? Corey LaJoie, Zane Smith, Carson Hocevar. I'd love to say that this new look Spire gets a driver into the playoffs, but I just don't think those are realistic expectations.
No, they weren't realistic expectations. Spire this year, I would say, has been slightly disappointing. Like, Carson Hocevar has been a little better, I think, than we thought he'd be, especially considering where that 77 has been the past couple of years. Hocevar has been good. I think Corey LaJoie has been a slight disappointment. And Zane Smith, I know that he's a rookie, and that was basically a brand new team being created from scratch for this 1 year, but that has been just a disaster most of the season. So I would say Spire, expectations were mixed. They haven't quite met them as an overall team, at least in my opinion, but we're only halfway through the year. Long way to go.
I am big on Toyota this season. I think his final spot
has to
go to a Camry. But which one? Ty Gibbs in his sophomore season?
Yeah, it has to be Ty Gibbs.
John Hunter Nemechek?
Oh my gosh, don't beat around the bush. You're driving me crazy, January me.
I'm going to give this spot, y'all aren't going to like this, to Ty Gibbs.
Whew.
10 top 10 finishes his rookie year, but you
close.
could tell he got more confident as the year went on.
Yep, and he's been good this year. Ty Gibbs has avoided the sophomore slump. He has taken a small step forward, which you hope young drivers do year after year. I've been pleased with what I've seen from Ty Gibbs. Let me check out where he's at in points. He has got like a 100-point cushion, I think, right? He's virtually locked in. Plus 82 points. Okay, not quite 100, but that's still a pretty nice cushion. Yeah, look at Ty Gibbs. Okay, so that means Bubba currently out, Jones currently nowhere close, and Kyle Busch is currently out. So I know I'm going to get Suarez and Cindric wrong, so the best I can hope for is 14 out of 16, which is better than I did last year, but still not quite where my expectations are. So what should I be rooting for here? Because if Bubba sneaks in, then Logano gets knocked out potentially. So what am I rooting for here? I guess I'm rooting for the wheels to just fall off Alex Bowman's season because right now he's 14th on the playoff grid plus 59. So Buescher leapfrogs him, Logano leapfrogs him, and then either Bubba or Busch leapfrog him. Then I'm in business. Then I think I would get 14 out of 16 correct. That's not bad. Sorry, Alex Bowman fans, but that's just what I have to root for at this moment. All in all, other than the Eric Jones pick and other than calling Kyle Busch a virtual lock, this isn't terrible. I don't think I embarrassed myself. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. What did people say in the comment section? I don't usually do them. What did people say in the comment section back in January? Yeah, literally the second comment. Very sensible picks, but surprised you chose Jones. I'm going to trust Bowman. Yeah, that you were smarter than me. AS19 Motorsport. Good call. I'll give you a heart for that 5 months later. I would argue that Martin Truex Jr. isn't a lock, although he is likely to make it. I mean, a tank slapper, he hasn't won a race yet, and we did have the retirement question, but yeah, he's like 108 108? No, 155 points to the good. Yeah, he's a lock. It's safe to say. A lot of folks like the Ty Gibbs pick, especially 601 King Music. I'm calling it now. Ty Gibbs not only makes the playoffs, wins a couple of races and makes the round of 8. That is bold. He could win a race this year. Round of 8. Going to need a few more playoff points, or it's going to need to go on a tear in the fall. I don't know if I see that, but yeah, a lot of folks agreed with Ty Gibbs making it good, because I was on the fence about that one. It was versus Gibbs or Bowman. I went with Gibbs. I should have gone with both ultimately. I'm noticing there are no comments in here about Kyle Busch. Everyone agreed Kyle Busch was a lock to make the playoffs. How wrong we all were, especially me. Long way to go, but this was fun. We might check back in on this video later this year once the playoff field is actually set, but I figured it would be fun to do sort of a mid-season check-in while there's still room for things to change. And we're dunking on Kyle Busch and RCR in this video, but there's 8 weeks, and he's only 45 points out. He can make that up. It's a long shot, but he can do it. He's Kyle Busch. I like to do this video now for a change, when there's still hope left in the air. But let me know down in the comments below if there are any of my old picks that aged especially poorly in your opinion. How are your preseason playoff brackets looking, if you don't mind me asking? Share your comments down below. Thank you all for watching this special episode of Out of the Groove. I'll be at Nashville the next few days. Expect lots of videos and content coming your way. I will catch y'all again soon. Thanks for watching.